Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And today we are going to be talking about the spell Prayer of Healing. Right now I have the Legacy version up. We're going to be comparing and contrasting this to the 2024 version. There were big changes in the 2024 version. We're going to talk about those, and we're going to talk about the character classes that can use this spell, some of the things you might want to think about using with those character classes, and how it affects other people in your party. But first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so this is the Legacy version of Prayer of Healing. Back in the day, we gave this a D+. It was a second level spell. I thought there were many other second level spells that were better than this. Then just for the little bit that he could do. It's a second level spell. It takes 10 minutes to cast. Range of 30 feet. It's only a verbal because you're saying a prayer. Up to 6 creatures of your choice that can see within range regain hit points equal to 2d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which at this point, because you're going to be at least 3rd level, should at least be a 17. Possibly an 18, so it'll be 2d8 plus 3 or 2d8 plus 4, one of the two, which isn't great. So 6 creatures at the end of the 10 minutes. It's not in combat. You're not going to be casting this spell in combat. This is strictly an out of combat spell. So on average, they're going to be getting anywhere from 12 to 13 hit points. You can't upcast this, and you get an extra d8, not an extra d8 plus your spell modifier for every level, but an extra d8. So it adds essentially 4.5 average points to every upcast that you do on this from 3rd level on. It was just an okay spell. I thought there were better spells that you could take as a 2nd level cleric than this one. So let's take a look at the new 2024 version, the new and improved. So this spell also was only usable by clerics. Now it's usable by clerics and paladins. Okay? Still a 2nd level spell. Still takes 10 minutes to cast. Still has a range of 30 feet. Still is a component of verbal only. It is an abjuration spell. There are good things about that. So up to 5 creatures. So they took a creature away. Now up to 5 creatures of your choice who remain within range for the spell's entire casting gain the benefits of a short rest, which is massive. That is massive. They also gain 2d8 points, hit points, not 2d8 plus your spellcasting modifier, just 2d8. A creature cannot be affected by this spell again until that creature finishes a long rest, and then you can upcast it for an extra d8 of healing. And again, clerics and paladins can use this spell. The one thing that's in there is that short rest is a 10-minute short rest is massive. You may not get an hour to do a short rest, which is normally the time it takes to do a short rest. Your DM may not be giving you an hour. You might be chased. You might be hiding, etc., etc. So this 10-minute is a big deal. So we're going to bump this one up to a full B. It can't get to an A because, you know, if I apply my criteria to this, it kind of fails a couple of them. But the ability to just kind of do a 10-minute short rest is massive. So I got 4 kind of rules that I use to grade spells. And this is the criteria that I use for grading spells. So how easy is the spell to use? Well, this spell is in combat. This spell's not easy to use. 1, because it takes 10 minutes to cast it, and you won't be casting it in combat at all. So it's not easy to use. It does have a verbal component, so if you're trying to hide, that could be difficult to do and to get the spell off. Will I use this spell relative to other spells? And I always say, well, I use this spell in combat relative to other spells. But relative to other spells, I am probably going to have at least one. I'll have this prepared. And I'll be ready to cast this whenever I can, once per long rest now. as a cleric, because I want to be able to give everybody a quickie, short rest. Is this going to impact my character, or is it integral to my build? It's probably not integral to a build, but because builds normally have a lot of functionality in combat and some to a lesser extent, functionality outside of combat. Prayer of Healing is probably not integral to a build. And what impact is it going to have on an adventuring party? Massive impacts on an adventuring party. So I just want to very quickly, we'll go through the cleric very quickly and how the cleric can do it. But I want to go through the player's handbook, and I want to talk about a short rest and what you get for a short rest. It's probably in the rules compendium. I think it's in the rules compendium. So we'll go to the rules compendium. Rules definitions. And rest should be in here. There it is, short rest. Okay. So what do you get for a short rest? It takes an hour. You must have at least a hit point. When you finish the rest, you gain the following. You can spend one or more of your hit point dice to regain hit points. For each hit point die you spend in this way, roll the die and add your Constitution modifier for each die. You regain hit points equal to the total. You can decide to spend an additional hit point die after each roll. Let me repeat that. For each hit point die you spend in this way, roll the die and add your Constitution modifier for each one. That's massive. And so this spell lets you do that. And then there are many features of classes, and we're going to go over some of those that reset on short rests. So it's two big things: reset of abilities and a lot of healing, because people are going to spend hit dice. So that the healing in this is just an added bonus. It's the short rest. Now, it's only 5 creatures, so it's probably not going to be you as the cleric. Maybe it could be, that's up to you. Maybe some people don't really need the short rest. Now, what is the cleric going to get out of that short rest? Well, the cleric has their divine order. They have their channel divinity. And you can use your channel divinity twice. You regain one of its expended uses when you finish a short rest. So, and then there's divine spark, which gives you healing. Or can do some damage. You can also turn undead. And then each one of your subclasses has something that procs off of your divine channel divinity. I couldn't get that out. So with the life domain cleric, so this is up to interpretation. When you cast a spell with a spell slot that restores hit points to a creature, okay, it's a spell. It uses a spell slot. It restores hit points. That creature regains additional hit points on the turn that you cast the spell. Meaning that it's got to be probably for cure spells. So this additional hit points is probably not going to work. But you have things like preserve life, present your holy symbol, choose a bloody creature within 30 feet of yourself, and you can restore hit points. That's great, and you get this back. You get this back after you cast Prayer of Healing. Paladins can use this spell at 5th level. There's really not in the 2024, there's really not a decent subclass that goes with this. I mean, they all can use it. It's just not one will supercharge it. All right, so let's go through some classes and see what they get off of that short rest that you get because of Prayer of Healing. Rage for the Barbarian. Look at that. You regain 1 expended use when you finish a short rest of rages. That's awesome. There's probably some stuff they get back, like, let's look at Path of the World Tree. When you activate all this stuff procs off of rage. So, you get these things back after you use the rage. The Bard. The big one for the Bard is if you are level 5 and you have Font of Inspiration, you regain all of your bardic inspirations when you finish a short rest. That's totally awesome. For the Druid, you regain 1 expended use when you finish a short rest of your wild shape. That's awesome. And a lot of things proc off of the wild shape, but depending on your subclass. For the fighter action surge, once you use this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a short rest. Second wind, you gain 1 of use of this after a short rest. That's pretty massive. And then there's things like the Battle Master, who have maneuver dice, and you regain all expended superiority dice when you finish a short or long rest. The Monk's focus, and the focus points. When you expend a focus point, is unavailable until you finish a short or long rest, at the end of which you regain all of your expended points. And finally, the Warlock is probably the one that loves this the most, because the Warlock gets all their spells back on, well, they're not that many, but they get them back on a short rest. So you regain all expended packed magic spell slots when you finish a short or long rest. So this spell is totally awesome because it allows you to give everybody an extra short rest. It's a very quick one, too. So technically, you could do a short rest and then another short rest. If you got an hour and 10, I don't know why you would do that, but it would be, we could do it. It's an hour and 10 minutes. Why not? But like I said, there are probably going to be circumstances where you are pressed for time and you need to do this rest in 10 minutes instead of an hour. All right, that is what I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody